In this morning's Money Watch, is it time to lose your home phone? A new study says nearly a quarter of Americans in America now have only a wireless phone. So when is it cost effective to get rid of your landline? Here with some advice is personal finance expert Carmen Wong Ulrich. Great to have you with us, Carmen.
Good morning.
And I thought it was really fascinating in this study to see that there are sort of clusters of areas, regions in the country where that landline use has really dropped off, in particular in the Midwest.
In the Midwest especially. For example, Arkansas, almost 36% of folks are wireless only, whereas in Rhode Island, it's closer to around 13%. And there are really three factors at play here. One is the affordability of cell phones. Folks with tight budgets are less likely to be able to carry a landline and a cell phone, so that's regional as well. But age is a big factor, especially in the Northeast where folks are older, they're less likely to have the cell phone. For example, 44% of folks between the age of 18 and 30 are wireless only.
44%.
It's a huge number.
That is.
And a lot of young adults will never have a landline in their lives. Now also in terms of renters versus homeowners, renters, 47% of renters are wireless only.
Because they're moving around all the time.
They're moving around. They're more mobile.
There are advantages, though, still, to having a landline. Certainly. What are some of them?
Well, here's the thing. I hear this from a lot of folks, including my own family. Reception. In your home, if you don't have good reception, you can't beat a landline, of course. And there are other factors. Screening solicitor calls is a big one because you have the caller ID, and you can basically direct them to that phone instead of your cell phone. And also in terms of the flat rate per month, is a lot of folks can't beat that because you don't have these overage charges. And 911 emergency calls. That's a very important one.
That is important, and obviously there are certain precautionary measures people should be taking if they are sticking to that only the wireless phone. What would you recommend?
Here's the thing, battery. That's the problem. With your landline, your phone, even if it's a wireless landline, that's going to last for days, the battery. Whereas your cell phone, that's not going to happen. So make sure that you have a backup battery available. Also, call and register with your local emergency management services. You can do that by just searching online with your zip code. And here's the thing, the FCC put into effect a mandate that all of the 911 emergency lines needed to be upgraded to be able to track cell phones. The problem is it's very regional. They don't have the money to do it. So you can call and see if you're up to date. If not, within about 5 years, everyone should be.
So that would mean that if you call in the case of an emergency 911, they can actually, in 5 years, potentially
if they have,
track you down.
And some countries and some counties actually are very up to date on this, and they can pinpoint your location.
Obviously, more and more people are turning to use a cell phone in addition to that landline. So it's like not one at the exclusion of the other when it comes to actually using the wireless. Talk about some of the price differentials here when it comes to landline versus cell phone.
Well, here's the thing with the landline, it could be you're paying anywhere from between $29 to $59. Well, over a year, that's around $600 of savings. So it makes a big difference. Now, in terms of your cell phone, of course, that varies widely, but part of the reason why cell phones are so pervasive is because they're inexpensive. There's so much competition. Here's the thing. Check in. See, when's the last time you looked at your cell phone plan? Has it been over a year? You got to go check. Go to lowermybills.com, billshrink.com, and make sure your usage matches the system and the plan that you have. Because a lot of times you'll look up and you say, you know what, I don't use that many text messages, or I don't use that many minutes. Or maybe you look at your statement over the past couple months and see, I've been using too many minutes. Adjust your plan accordingly and do this pretty often. Try to do it every 6 months, and basically you can save a lot of money.
That's great advice. I've even called up my cell phone provider and said, tell me, what am I using here, and do you have a plan that would be more in line with that so that I'm not overusing or I'm not underusing? Do you think ultimately in 10 years' time landlines are still going to be around, Carmen?
Probably not as much. 10 years, maybe they're going to be around a little bit, kind of like rotary phones, but in 20 years, I think they'll probably disappear. Once we're up to speed in terms of 911 registry and emergencies, I don't think we'll see landlines anymore.
You heard it here first on The Early Show. Carmen Wong Ulrich, thank you so much.
We
really appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
You too.
And for more on the smartest ways to go wireless, visit our sister website, cbsmoneywatch.com.